What if removing just 15 ordinary things from your home could make it feel cleaner, calmer, and easier to maintain? Today, we're going room by room through 15 things Japanese households often avoid keeping, and I'll show you exactly why each one creates unnecessary clutter. Cleaning or stress. Some of these are probably sitting in your home right now. And number 10 is something many Western homes almost treat like furniture. Let's start with the one that seems completely harmless. 1. Shoes that belong outside. In many Japanese homes, outdoor shoes stop at the entrance. That's more than a cultural rule. It's a practical way to prevent street dirt from traveling across clean floors. But there's another problem. Some homes keep dozens of shoes piled near the entrance. Old sneakers, occasional shoes that haven't been worn in months. And suddenly, the very place designed to keep dirt outside becomes cluttered. The Japanese approach is simpler. Keep the shoes you actually use, store the rest neatly, and keep the entrance visually clear. Your entryway is the first part of your home you see. Why fill it with things you rarely wear? 2. Clothes you haven't worn in a year. Here's a difficult question. How many clothes in your closet haven't touched your body in the last 12 months? Many Western closets become storage rooms for old versions of ourselves. A dress that no longer fits. A shirt we might wear someday. A jacket we forgot we owned. Japanese-inspired minimalism asks a different question. Does this item still serve my life? If the answer is no, keeping it simply creates another object to organize. And every object you keep demands something from you. Space, cleaning, folding, attention. Sometimes decluttering isn't about having less. It's about removing things that no longer deserve your attention. 3. Decorative objects covering every surface. Look at your coffee table. Then your shelves. Then your kitchen counter. How many decorative objects are sitting there? 1 isn't a problem. 10 can become cleaning work. Japanese interiors often favor open space and intentional decoration. 1 meaningful object can have more visual impact than 20 random ones. And there's a practical advantage. A clear surface takes seconds to wipe. A crowded surface forces you to move everything first. That's why minimalism isn't only about appearance. It's also a cleaning strategy. 4. Too many kitchen appliances. Now walk into your kitchen. How many appliances do you own that you haven't used in the last month? Bread maker, second blender, specialty slicer, single-purpose gadgets. Most of them seemed useful when you bought them. But unused appliances don't just occupy cabinets. They make the kitchen harder to organize. Japanese kitchens often prioritize compactness and practicality. The goal is to keep useful tools accessible, without turning every cabinet into a warehouse. Before keeping another gadget, ask, does it solve a problem I actually have, or did clever marketing create the problem first? 5. A bathroom full of products. Now we enter one of the biggest sources of visual clutter. The bathroom counter. Shampoos, creams, sprays, razors, bottles, half-used products. Many people keep everything visible because it feels convenient. But the more containers you have, the more surfaces you have to clean around. A simpler, Japanese-inspired approach is to keep only the products you regularly use accessible. Everything else can be stored away. And suddenly, the bathroom feels larger, cleaner, and much easier to reset. But we've only reached number 5. The next items are even more interesting, because they aren't just clutter. They can quietly make your home feel more stressful every single day. Now let's continue. 6. Broken or unused furniture. Have you ever kept a chair? Because you might repair it someday? Or a shelf? Because throwing it away feels wasteful? This is how temporary storage becomes permanent clutter. Japanese-inspired living places strong value on usefulness and purpose. If something is broken, repair it. If it cannot be repaired, let it go. A broken object still occupies the same amount of space as a useful one, but it gives you nothing in return. 7. Piles of paper. Receipts, old bills, takeout menus, instruction manuals, random documents. Paper clutter multiplies incredibly quickly. Many Japanese homes keep paperwork controlled, because every unnecessary sheet becomes something that eventually needs sorting. A simple system is powerful. Important documents get one designated location. Everything else gets recycled or discarded when it's no longer needed. Your future self will thank you. 8. Too many towels. This one is surprisingly common. A linen closet can slowly become a towel warehouse. Old towels, guest towels, holiday towels, towels that haven't been touched in years. You only have one body. So why keep enough towels for a hotel? Japanese homes often prioritize practical quantities rather than endless backups. Keep enough for normal use, plus a reasonable amount for laundry days. That's usually more than enough. 9. Duplicate kitchenware. Now open your kitchen cabinet. How many plates look almost identical? How many mugs do you actually use? How many pairs of chopsticks could your household possibly need? Duplicates seem harmless, until cabinets become crowded. Then finding one useful item means moving 5 others. A better rule is simple. Keep the pieces you actually reach for. Everything else should have a reason to stay. 10. Large collections of just-in-case items. This may be the hardest one to remove, because just-in-case feels responsible. Extra containers, old cables, unused bags, spare gadgets, random hardware. You keep them because someday you might need them. But here's the problem. Every just-in-case item occupies space today, for a possibility that may never happen. Japanese-inspired minimalism asks a more useful question. How often have I actually needed this? If the answer is almost never, you may be storing a possibility instead of owning something useful. And we're only at number 10. The final 5 are even more revealing, because they involve things many Western homes consider completely normal. Now we're at the final 5, and these may be the hardest things to remove, because you may not even consider them clutter. 11. Expired food. Open your pantry. Look behind the newer packages. You may find food that's been sitting there for months. Old sauces, expired spices, snacks nobody wants. Japanese kitchens tend to value freshness and practicality, instead of allowing forgotten food to occupy valuable space. Check what you actually use. A smaller pantry with food you genuinely eat is easier to organize than a packed pantry full of forgotten items. 12. Too many cleaning products. Here's an irony. Some people own so many cleaning products that cleaning itself becomes harder. One spray for the kitchen, another for glass, another for the bathroom, another for the floor, another for something you used once. You don't necessarily need dozens of bottles. A smaller collection of effective products can make storage and cleaning much simpler. The goal isn't owning every possible solution. It's having the right few solutions for your home. 13. Clothes. Hanging on every chair. You know the chair. The one that hasn't been used as a chair for weeks. It's holding yesterday's clothes. A jacket. A bag. Maybe a towel. This seems harmless, but one chair becomes another. And suddenly the bedroom feels messy even when the floor is clean. Japanese-inspired organization encourages clothing to return to its designated place. A drawer. A closet. A hanger. Not a chair. The rule is simple. Furniture should stay furniture. 14. Items kept only out of guilt. This one is different. Maybe someone gave you a gift. You don't use it. You don't like it. But you keep it because throwing it away feels wrong. Or maybe it's an expensive item you haven't touched in years. The emotional attachment isn't to the object itself, but to the memory or guilt surrounding it. Japanese decluttering philosophy, especially concepts associated with mindful possessions, encourages you to appreciate what something gave you without believing you must keep it forever. You can be grateful and still let something go. That's a surprisingly freeing idea. 15. Things you don't actually love or use. And finally, the most important category, things that serve no purpose. You don't use them. You don't enjoy looking at them. And you wouldn't buy them again today. Yet they remain in your home simply because they've always been there. This is where Japanese-inspired minimalism becomes more than cleaning. It's about deciding what deserves your limited space and attention. Every object in your home occupies physical space, but it also occupies a tiny amount of mental space. The more unnecessary things you see, the more visual decisions your brain has to process. That's why an uncluttered home can feel surprisingly peaceful. Now let's quickly review the 15 things. Unused shoes, clothes you never wear, excessive decorations, unnecessary appliances, too many bathroom products, broken furniture, paper piles, excess towels, duplicate kitchenware, just-in-case items, expired food, too many cleaning products, clothes covering chairs, objects kept from guilt, and things you neither use nor love. You don't need to remove all 15 tonight. That would defeat the whole idea. Instead, choose one category, set a timer for 10 minutes, remove what clearly no longer belongs, and stop. The goal isn't to create an empty house. It's to create a home where everything has a reason to be there. That's one of the most useful lessons from Japanese-inspired living. A cleaner home doesn't always need more cleaning. Sometimes it simply needs fewer things. Which item on this list is already sitting somewhere in your home? Tell me in the comments. And if this video helped you see your home differently, subscribe for more simple Japanese systems that make everyday life calmer, cleaner, and easier. Because sometimes the best thing you can add to your home is a little more empty space.